So in episode 13, we identified some potential issues with the data coming back from the API with PAW. Today, we're going to try to resolve most of those issues and then add some functionality where instead of getting a single pod, we want to decode an array of pods. So first, let's add a decoding strategy, a key decoding strategy. We'll say decoder key decoding strategy equals convert from snake case. We'll build just to make sure we didn't break anything. And what this does is it enables us to get rid of our coding keys for now. I'm going to delete this. We may come back later and add them in order to make our naming convention more consistent. But this works for now. And I want to go ahead and add that thumbnail URL from last time. And I'm going to make it optional. You see we get an error here on a default. That's just fine. Let's set it to nil. And let's put it on the next line just for consistency's sake. We'll build again just to be sure that we haven't broken anything. I may put a line break there. We'll copy to pod. We'll rename it to pods, plural. We'll have it return an optional array of pods. Okay, so we've already fixed one problem with the thumbnail. We've eliminated our decoding keys for now. Let's go into network. And in order to test this, what I'd like to do, we have this URL here. Let's we can keep that there, but let's copy it. Let's actually move it out, and we'll get rid of that. And each method will have its own URL for now. We're going to change date to count of 20. And what this is going to do is it's going to get back 20 random pods, and it'll hopefully decode them. If we got our decoding strategy set up correctly, we'll get back an array of pods. One thing I'm noticing here, we're not using to pods. Let's use that. Let's say return data to pods. Okay, that looked like that worked. And let's try the same thing here. Data to pod. Okay, and let's run our app just to be sure we didn't lose any functionality. That looks good. So we're looking good there. I think what we'll do, I'll go ahead and show you. I added some tests in the meantime, in part just to kind of help me sort out what we needed to do next. Okay, we see a number of them fail right now. Like this not nil for the video. I was originally going to go through and actually make these changes on camera, but it took a very long time. It was pretty boring. And I think what we'll do at some point is add some better logging when we do have problems. So I went ahead and made more of our properties optional. Okay, and once I made those couple of changes, our test suite is passing. What it made me realize, and it makes me tempted to just make everything optional on the model. It seems like the people who maintain the website and the API are different people. The API scrapes the website. Most of the time it does a pretty good job, but sometimes you get the data gets mangled. So we can't always be assured that we're going to get something back. So if we hit problems going forward, we may find we need to make more of these properties optional, but that's okay. For now, we'll leave it as is. Let me double check my checklist of things. We want all of our URLs to be optional. what was interesting, that one was a real surprise, but it kind of makes sense. So like Red Bull uh, is the copyright owner, but there's no image, the image of the day. So presumably they pulled or requested that they no longer show the video. I'm not sure what the story is, but that seems to be up. So we've resolved those issues, and then we're getting back an array, and we're set up next time so we can come in and display a list of titles. And then when we click on one of those titles, it'll show us our detail view that we've been using to show our pods so far.